Hey YouTube, I got a couple of requests on my channel for the care that I do for Buddy, my Chicoan giant Argentine Tegu. So here it is. I am by no means an expert. I've had him for a little over a year. It'll be 2 years, I think, in June. I got him when he was a yearling from Tegu. But I did a lot of research before I bought him, and I feel he's growing healthy. I received a lot of nice compliments about his temperament, his body. He looks healthy, his behavior, everything. He's really a good boy. So I thought I would share some tips on how I care for him. Right now we are in the reptile room of my house. I have a couple animals in here. I have in the corner over there, you can't see it, but there's a crested gecko cage, and I have my bearded dragon Chloe. But the big cage here you'll see behind me in black is Buddy's cage. One thing that I think is important when I was raising him, when I got him he was about 18 inches or so. You can see the unboxing video on YouTube. I personally like front opening cages. I know a lot of times when people get the babies, they get the 40-gallon breeders, like the fish tanks. I'm not a fan of those, just for the simple reason when you go to take the Tegu out, or any lizard in that case, you're going in from the top, and obviously your hand looks almost like a predator coming in to get it. What I did with Buddy was I saved up a little extra money and I bought a 4-foot custom cage for him. It was a front opening, just like the cage behind me, sliding glass. And you know, I never had to go in over the top on him to take him out. It allowed me to, when he was basking or roaming around in there, to just open the cage from the front, stick my hand in there, and you know, he can see it. I would just, you know, ruffle around some of the cypress mulch, or put my hand in the water, or just move some things so he can see that my hand was not a threat. I think that helped a lot. And also for feeding, I'm not a fan of feeding in the cage. I know some people do. I personally don't want to risk him ingesting some mulch in his food. They can be quite messy when they eat. So also having the front opening cage allowed me to have him come out and grab his food. I initially started just putting it in the middle of the room here. I eventually moved it into the bathroom that connects to this room, just because he got kind of messy and I'd be putting a towel down. But again, it allowed him to come out on his terms, not mine. Even today, you know, you can see, sometimes you just see me doing a video of him just petting him, talking to him in the cage. I think that's important. I never pull him out. You know, if he doesn't want to come out, I don't force the issue. So I respect him in his enclosure, and I think he knows that, hey, if I don't want to come out, my master's not going to pull me out. So it was an easy way to build some trust with him. And but when he was out and I was able to get him out, one thing I thought was very helpful was the bathtub or shower technique. I'm kind of lucky I have a bathroom that connects to this room, so I was able to get him into the bathroom quite easily and allow him to kind of get in the shower with me. And I would close I have sliding glass doors on it, and obviously no water, but sit in there with him. He was forced to walk around on me. He had room to walk on me. I didn't grab at him. When he would walk up on my leg, I would just pet him by his tail, on his back, and eventually he got a little bigger, and it was just kind of tight even for me in the shower with him. I brought him in the bathtub, and there's a couple videos on my channel you can see for that, but that really seemed to help and build the trust. He kind of lost his flightiness at that point, and then I would just let him roam in the bathroom. You know, it's hard to believe when I got him. Like I said, he was about 18 inches. He was a skinny little thing. He'd be able to go underneath the doors of the closet in the bathroom and stuff, so I used to stuff towels underneath there. But the bathroom I have is fairly large, and it gave him a lot of room to kind of walk around, get exercise, and I would just sit in there, and they really are too curious to ignore you. They will come and investigate you, and you'll see some videos where he would walk underneath my legs or just walk over me and walk away. And, you know, even to be honest, like even these days, I don't force interaction with him. I let him roam around in this room and in the bathroom. They connect. A lot of times he will just crawl up on top of me and then walk away and kind of do his thing. I'm able to pick him up, obviously, without any issues. You've seen videos of him in the bathtub. No problems, but I never force the issue with him. You know, I don't feel like, I don't like grab him and hold him rough. If I do pick him up, I just kind of hold him like this. I think it's important to support the body. So, I mean, that's how I handle him. Even before all that, I think it's important to get your enclosure set up right. So again, I'm a big fan of the front opening enclosures. So you can see behind me up there on top, I did invest in a Herbstet 4. Probably a little overkill, but you know, I want to make sure he is comfortable and he's happy. So it makes it very easy to keep my temperatures at about 85 degrees on the hot side and mid 70s on the cooler side. It also allows me to plug in a humidity probe. I can test the humidity constantly. I ended up investing in the mist. It's a humidifier. I don't remember who makes it, but it's it's either, you know, let me check and see actually who makes it. It's the Reptifogger. To be honest with you, that actually was probably the easiest way for me to keep the humidity up in his cage at about, you know, 70–80%. I used to have the Monsoon RS400 mister, and that worked, but in the wintertime I found it very difficult to keep the humidity up. So I switched over to the Reptifogger, and I haven't had any issues since. So I think it's a good product. I did have one that went out on me, but the pet store was very good about swapping it out. You are supposed to use distilled water with it, so keep that in mind. But you know, other than that, you know, he's got a 12-inch or 18-inch UVV bulb. I use these in his cage. I've never had any issues with them with any of my reptiles, so I do like those. And then I am in the Chicagoland area, so on the cool side I do have some ceramic heat bulbs for at nighttime to kind of keep the temperature constant at 70–75 degrees during the winter time because it's a little chilly here. But I really think that's important, getting the temps right, getting the humidity right. They will run into shedding problems if you don't. Mine, Buddy, has a couple times, the tails are always very hard to get the shed off, so I do soak him in the bathtub a couple times a week. I have put a little baby oil in the water, and that seems to help loosen up the shed on the tail. As far as diet, I feed him every other day per Johnny LaRocco's recommendation at Tegu. He gets a couple mice. I feed him ground turkey, ground beef, all raw, of course. I do sprinkle them with calcium. I do use the Repticalcium without D3. I know there's some arguments with or without. I use the without, and I haven't had any issues with it. Chicken hearts, gizzards, chicken liver, some fish. It's a little more expensive. Mine loves strawberries, blueberries, grapes. So I try to give him a little platter, a little bit everything. I like to believe I'm giving him the correct portions. I don't think he's overweight. His belly doesn't drag as he walks. I think he's got very nice skin. I've been told he looks healthy. So again, it's just all through research, and oh yeah, once in a while I'll do like boiled eggs for him too. So again, I feed every other day. In the wintertime now it's been less. He's been sleeping. He does come up, but he hasn't really had an appetite. He'll come out, make a bowel movement, and then kind of just hang out for a little bit and go back into his cage. I was able to potty train him to go in the bathroom. He will not make a bowel movement in his enclosure, which is great for me. Keeps the enclosure smelling good, the room smelling good. He just walks into the bathroom and goes on the tile floor. So I'm very happy I was able to do that. And it's very easy to clean up, you know, with some Clorox spray and wipe it up with some paper towel and you're good to go. So, let's see, I'm trying to think. You know, as far as taming, again, it was a lot of let him kind of dictate the interactions we had, and but now, you know, I can pick him up and do what I want with him. But I think it's all about building trust. It's not so much about taming him, it's about trusting with him and he trusts me. Being a teacher, I did order him and have him arrive as soon as summer break started, because I was off of work. And I did spend, honestly, 2 to 4 hours a day with him when I first got him. Just at various points in the day, at small portions of time, to kind of work with him. If you don't have the time, they're probably not the best pets to have. They do grow fast. I mean, when someone told me, oh, you know, this 4-foot cage I initially bought, you might get a year out of it. I mean, within the year, again, granted I did get him with a yearling, he's in a custom 6x3x2 cage now. I know some people recommend 8x4x4. I can't fit that through my doorway, and I talked with Johnny LaRocco at Tegu, and he said a 6x3 is more than enough, especially if he comes out and gets exercises. He says you can actually fit 2 in there comfortably. I don't know if I would put 2 in there, but definitely 1 is fine. He's got the room, but yeah, so, you know, having time to spend with him I think is very important. They grow fast. You know, enjoy them when they're this big, because before you know it, he's huge. He's a little over 4 feet right now. I've heard he can get up to 4.5, 5. The Chicoans get a little bigger. So we'll see. I don't know how long they grow, maybe up till 3 years old. He'll be 3 in October, so I guess we'll see this summer how much he grows. But, you know, I guess if I had any tips for people thinking about getting a Tegu, I would say make sure you have the space. You know, once you have the right enclosure and the thermostats on however you want to do it, the cost really isn't that much after that. I mean, you can get ground beef for $5-6, and I just make little baggies of it and freeze the rest when I'm not using it. I can get a bag of mice, of 50 dead mice. I don't feed live. Frozen mice for like $36 over here. And again, you know, I'm feeding every other day, so I wouldn't say the cost of caring for them is that bad. You know, my electric bill is probably not as low as it should be, but I have a couple cages going in here, so that adds to it. But I wouldn't say the cost of owning them is too bad once you make the initial investment. I think I got him for about $350. I bought this custom cage instead of making it, so I probably overspent on that. I think it was a little over $600. That Herpstat 4, I believe, is a little over $300. The rectifogger, I think, is about $50. The lightings, those bulbs I showed you, the UVB, those are about, I think, $25, and I replace those every 6 months. I guess you can wait a year, but I've heard they kind of lose their potency, so I'd rather be safe than sorry. I just see it as an expense of owning this type of animal, so I replace my bulbs every 6 months as far as the UVB. Again, I feed every other day. I kind of talked about the temperatures. I use cypress mulch. He's got hides. He's got one hide. It's huge. It's a big log of cork bark. That was kind of like $60. That was kind of expensive just for a piece of wood, but it is what it is. And then I went to like Menards and I got like a big, I think it's like an 18 by 18, huge kind of like ceramic block for him to kind of sprawl out and, you know, bask in, and it fits his body pretty well, especially because he kind of curls his tail. So I don't know if this video helps. I hope it does. I'd like to believe that I'm caring for him correctly. If you have any suggestions, ideas, I'm open to that. Again, this is just based on the research I did before I purchased him, and how I've been raising him, which will be again about 2 years. In June I'll have him, and I like to believe I'm doing it correctly. I've sent updates to Tegu on their forum, and Johnny said he looks great. I mean, his temperament's good. Buddy has never charged me, tail whipped me, tried to bite. I mean, he's really a gentle giant, and I couldn't have been happier with another Tegu. I mean, he's a perfect Tegu. I mean, I have no complaints whatsoever. So thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful. Again, I'm open to any comments or suggestions. I'm by no means an expert, but I like to believe I'm doing something right the last 2 years. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be uploading no videos soon.